The courts are looking at the actions of Mr. Duffy, but Canadians are looking at this House to find out about the actions of their Prime Minister. Again, Mr. Speaker, it's up to the Prime Minister. He can answer now or he can answer during the debates.
Tom Mulcair plays the conspiracy card. I'm Brian Lilley with TheRebel.media. It's been going like this for a little while in the House of Commons. The NDP asks a question about the ongoing Mike Duffy trial, which is actually on hiatus right now, and they get told by the government that, well, this is before the courts, they're not going to comment on it. And then either the Prime Minister or his parliamentary secretary will say something to the effect of this.
Canadians are obviously watching the case that involves the actions of Mr. Duffy that are before the court. In terms of this House, Mr. Speaker, Canadians are watching how we look after public funds ourselves. Canadians are wondering why the Leader of the NDP continues to justify taking nearly $3 million in parliamentary funds and using it completely inappropriately for partisan purposes, not being willing to pay it back, not being willing to apologize or reverse course. Those are the answers Canadians.
I've been telling you about this $4 million that the NDP owes, more than $2 million on satellite offices that they put up in Montreal. We're starting to set up in Saskatchewan. And then there's the more than $1 million that they owe to Canada Post and the House of Commons over illegal mailings. But you haven't heard a lot of this. There hasn't been a lot of media clamor on this. And then Wednesday, Tom Mulcair, the NDP leader, woke up to a story saying that the House of Commons was going to start refusing to pay expense claims submitted by New Democrat MPs that owed the House of Commons money, or that they would find some other way to garnish the money back through taking it out of salary or office budgets or what have you. But they wanted the money back. Well, Mulcair says, first off, that story's false. And then he said, but you got to remember, this is just a kangaroo court and it's just a conspiracy to get the New Democrats.
You know, it is a kangaroo court. It's just our Liberal and Conservative adversaries using their majority to try to frustrate the party that's coming up in the polls and doing well compared to the two old line parties.
Is that really what's going on? Is this a conspiracy developed because the New Democrats are suddenly doing well in the polls? No, as Liberal Leader Justin Trudeau said later on that day, this is about more than that. This is an issue that's been going on for some time.
This issue of misuse of public funds for party purposes has been going on for an awfully long time now. This isn't a recent issue come forward, and it's a very serious thing.
I'm going to shock you again. I'm going to agree with Justin Trudeau a second time. He said what Mulcair is doing in fighting this isn't leadership.
What people expect from their leaders is that when you make a mistake, you own up to it, you apologize for it, and you make it right. You fix it. Instead, we see Mr. Mulcair trying to deny that anything actually happened and blame others. And that's just not the leadership people need to see.
Look, the House of Commons Board of Internal Economy may be too secretive, but it is still how the House of Commons has to function. It functions as a self-governing body. You can't have an outside group telling the House of Commons how to function. That's not how a parliament works. They have the rules, they know what the rules are, but the NDP seems intent on bending the rules. And as they fight this $2 million on the satellite offices and more than about $1.25 million on the mailings, they're also being chastised for what they plan to do in the next election. And that is have their House of Commons staff go and work on campaigns while taking paid leave from the House of Commons. The Liberals and the Conservatives don't do that. You are expected to volunteer for your campaign so that you can keep your job as a House of Commons staffer come after the election. The New Democrats are trying to find a way to get you to pay for their campaign staff. This is more silly games with public money at the expense of, to help the NDP at your expense. And it shows an attitude that says your money is our money. It's not a healthy one, and Tom Mulcair should come clean on it and stop fighting what have been long-standing traditions in how the House of Commons operates. The NDP is very new to having this much power and this much sway in the House of Commons. How they react to this ongoing saga and the money that they owed may help determine whether they get this much power after the fall election.
moment.